Hello, hi, welcome. My name is Agent00sonic, and this is a deep dive of days 81 to 120 because of how long it was between me actually posting these videos. On my main channel, Agent00sonic, I did post 81 to 100, I think, by the time this comes out a month and a half ago, which means I need to catch up. So, yes, day 81 to 120. Let's go ahead and get started. If you want to see that video, that's going to be posted in my description box below or in the corner here because it's going to be flipped. Yes, right here. Pretty sure. Anyways, artichoke. This one was, let me make sure we're in frame. Okay, and there we go. Day 81 was artichoke. This was a watercolor. I thought I did decent. I wish I would have actually done this on watercolor paper. Probably would have kept the colors a little bit better. And if it seems like I'm trying to speed run this, is because I know this is going to be a very long video. I wish I would have did this one better. And of course, at the end, I am going to tell you which ones are my favorite. So this one was not too bad considering it was watercolor. Day 82, a bushel of carrots. I could have done better. I felt like I should have did more distinction, maybe a lighter color here for the field because there was going to be the sunset. The bunny's super huge compared to this. I need to work on perspectives, which I'm trying to make a foundations video for my behind the scenes channel. I have one, I believe that's coming out this week too. But anyways, yeah, I did an Agent00sonic, but I ran out of space at the back of the trunk. For the truck bed. Bubbling cauldron. I gotta remember. Okay, yeah, we are in frame. Bubbling cauldron. I used Posca markers. I should have used a smaller set here. This one did very well. I like the colors, but then I wish I would have did the floor different because it kind of muddies up everything for the cauldron. And you really can't tell, but there's some rats here that are like enjoying the bubbling cauldron, and then there were some bottles here that got lost in it, and there was a fire here, which if you think about it, there's a fire inside of a whole house. Anyways, here was supposed to be some moonlight that gave that kind of lighting thing, but it was okay. Day 84 was a crystal ball. I like this whole thing from Disney with Madame Leota, and she was like predicting, she was actually in the crystal ball, but this was like her holding the crystal ball and seeing the future. I would have done this as purple to give it like that ethereal feel to it, but then I felt like it would have kind of gave something like Incredibles with Violet with her psychokinetic capabilities. So I ended up doing white with this one, and it wasn't too bad. The hands are kind of weird because I was trying to like do it like this and use it as a pose, but then the thumb was just kind of weird. Anyways, not too bad. This one I wish would have performed better. The alphabet soup. I put so much effort. This was a painting, and it was the Hi Dad soup from the Goofy movie, and I thought I did solid. What sucks about this, and in the later pages, I end up putting like tissue paper that I got from a shoebox, but this one got messed up here. I did like this one. It was probably one of my favorites because I really love this movie, and I love how this came out. I wish I would have done the inking better. That's just something I need to practice on to get better about it. Rubber ducky in a bubble bath. This was day 90. Performance wise, I'm trying to not say like all the performances, but this one didn't do that well because it got marked as 18 and up for some reason. But anyways, this one wasn't bad again. I prepped this page and I painted this, and then I used my marker to kind of give the bubbles the accents. The tub was kind of weird because I should have did more. Maybe the side could have had the bubbles spilling over, but it's okay. I wrote quack, which I thought was funny. This one was Red Riding Hood, and this one I took reference of this lady that was sitting on a stump. And again, I think I was just trying to practice sunsets, but my issue is that I don't do shadows very well and keeping colors of whatever is respective there. Like the picnic basket got washed out when I was trying to do a cross-hatching shading. And here there was like no difference between the forest and the actual ground and this big stump to give it kind of like depth. So I thought it was good at the time. Looking at it now, considering how long it's been, I'm just like, I could have did that significantly better. Flamingo and Fear Release. These were color pencil and marker. This one I thought was good. This one I did not keep the symmetry, and that kind of got, from this perspective, from the camera, you can tell it's just not the best. The flamingo I thought was solid. Like, I had everything good. I got like the ocean and like the horizon. Probably could have did a little bit of a color difference because it kind of like got blended in. Then the palm tree here, and I realize now that I kind of cut off the palm tree at the horizon, which kind of, I guess, didn't give it that much of a definition. But the flamingo was good. The fleur release, I added too much, and that was my issue with that one. So I probably could have pulled back a little bit. Day 90 and 91, Noah's Ark, and I think this was Candlelight or Lit by a Candle. For Noah's Ark, I used a reference. I thought this was good. It was probably one of my most detailed line work for this one, and then I used marker, so I thought this one was okay. I don't think it was too bad. Probably could have did perspective for the rear to give it kind of like a foreground a little bit better. For this one, I was trying to do this piece back in 2024 because there's a YouTuber named Slew. He had a competition where I think it was, the prompt was to be lit by a candle or a source of light, and I wanted to do this as like me holding a candle, take a picture reference, and then do an oil painting or learn how to do an oil painting with it. Fast forward 2 years, I finally did it. It wasn't bad. I just wish I would have did more of a gradients with this instead of just have a pure black background and then kind of making light happen, like the light source here, and then there's like the light yellow that went around. But maybe with the glasses I could have did more. Probably smaller brushes would have worked overall, but not too bad my first forward into that. Day 92 was Hourglass, and day 93 was Three Blind Mice. Hourglass, I was trying to do a double entendre, hourglass and an hourglass figure, and so the hourglass is a woman's body wearing like a dress, and then of course, sorry, the puppy just walked in, and then the sand was her dress design. Three Blind Mice, it was actually the same mouse over 3 different time periods, like beginning youth, and then mid-age or like young adult, and then goes to like the elder age. And then I wrote a story about it and everything, and I wrote a story originally, it made sense, and then I tried to make it fill the page, and it didn't make sense once I filled it in. I probably should have kept it as it was before. This is where my paint was also starting to rip. So like this page got torn because the next page was honeycomb. I personally think this was kind of a cop-out. I could have did a little bit more, but I think I was just trying to do too much. This was color pencil, and then marker. And I did a whole thing about this book that me and my fiance read called The Bees. And it was kind of homage to that, but I didn't do much else. I didn't really know what to do for honeycomb, so I just kind of looked at an image and then kind of copied it. The next one was Compass. And this one was one of my favorites because, kid you not, the day after I did this, Alex Hirsch and Disney announced the art book of Gravity Falls. I pre-ordered that so fast. But Compass became the eye for this character named Bill Cipher, and then the weather vane that sits on top of the Mystery Shack is a question mark, and it says WHAT, like what? So if you look at the compass, it has WHAT as the cardinal directions, and then of course the question mark is in the back. And then I was going to do part of the cipher, and it's VHHBRXQHAWVXPPHU, which using the cipher is see you next summer. Which if you've seen the series, and you should, it's been out for 14 years and ended 10 years ago. It's an ending reference to the whole series because there's only 2 seasons. Seriously, watch it. This is one of my favorites out of this entire run that we're about to do. This is probably my favorite because the prompt was meteor, and this was a reference to Calvin and Hobbes when they were outside looking up at the stars in the galaxy, and then I took my character, created that style. One thing I needed to work on was just his hand and the arm because it's kind of funny, but I loved it. Ah, yes. Day 97 was Snow Globe, and I kid you not, can I get it without hurting myself? Be right back. All right. At the time of the recording of this short, I kind of have to go on the whole thing. This is a snow globe for the Cartoon Network snow globe that was given to employees and clients at this time. The sketch drawing and everything like that ended up using, I think, the acrylic markers for this. I loved it. Could have did more detail, but what I wanted to show you was I actually was sent that snow globe from a friend. I don't know if they would like to be named, but they were one of my Instagram friends, and I'll show up close. Now, the eBay seller that they purchased this from did not pack it well. The snow globe was shattered. This will get sent off to a restoration company that does like snow globe restoration. So hopefully we'll get it back in one piece. It'll be restored to its original 2006 glory. I'm so hyped. Like, the fact that I have this in my hand is amazing. I am so hyped. I will be even hyper once it gets fixed. But look, there's Ed. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Probably not. Ed is Munch on Jawbreaker. But yeah, so when that happened, just Day 98 and Day 99, Stonehenge and your school mascot. My school mascot was the Grey Wolves of Stonehenge. So obviously it's the Stonehenge from, yonder. And my school mascot in my frame. Yes, I am. I thought this was good detail. I like the little scribbles and stuff like that with the markers and pencil and pen. This one was done with the markers. It's really hard to remember what I did with these. Wasn't bad. It definitely gave more foxy than wolf vibes on this one, but I think that's just because in my head there was not a lot of space, so I kind of like made everything smaller when I need to make it a little bit more broad. But this was really good. And now for day 100, which was kind of anticlimactic considering it was halfway through the book. It was racetrack, and I didn't realize that at the time, but I made like a chromosome, and I was like, oh, it's in my DNA. But I did like a top view of like the racetrack, and I had the borders and everything like that. And then day 101 was Megaphone. I did this with the acrylic paint markers, and I liked this design, like the poster design of the line work and everything, and it got the point across. Nothing too much to sneeze about besides that it has one of my characters that I want to incorporate more into my art pieces. We're almost we got 18 more, so thank you. I'm really trying to make it quick because this is a very dense video. This prompt was punk. It was punk, right? Mohawk. Actually, it was Mohawk. Sorry. This one did not perform at all. I don't know why it flopped so hard. I don't know if it's because I tagged the creator who I took the reference from for the picture. But I mean, it just flopped. But I thought this was one of my best ones. I like the style. I like the color. I like the background. I like the contrast. I love everything about it. You could look at it. You could see it. And it just didn't do well. But yeah. And then Candelabra. Now, since I made this video, the word candelabra has appeared a lot more in my life. I was just reading Forever in a Day by Anthony Horowitz. And there's a part about the candelabras. Anyways. This one did good. I used the light from the candelabra flames to give the shadows for the character holding it and stuff like that, and the door and the lights and stuff, and the painting in the background. But I think I could have done the colors a little bit darker on the outside, probably like a darker brown. That way it would have really gave the yellows a little bit more life in the center than what it did. And that part really kind of got muddied with everything. Like I probably could have did some here and some down here for the browns, and it would have probably did a little bit better than what it looks like here. I realized this is probably like the third, if not fourth one that I have had this color palette, and I think it's because I want to get better with like yellows and stuff. There it goes. Day 104, Dream Car. It's a 64 Chevy Impala SS. I made this, and then I painted. You really can't tell. Now that I look at it, you really can't tell. But this is like a tan, and then there's like a light blue, because I was trying to keep the color and the main focus on the car. I think I made this too short. I could have made it smaller and made this better. I don't know. I need to draw more cars. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm tired. Rainy day. I was trying to keep it a limited palette. A limited palette of just black, gray, white. And honestly, it just looks very messy. There's no real direction that this is rain or that it rained at all. I probably should have did more puddles and more indication that it was raining rather than this. But there's a character inside. They're looking out the window at the rain, on the raindrops and stuff. Probably would have did better if I would have made everything one tone and then went in and did it. But it is what it is. Okay. Day 106, and this is, in my personal opinion, one of my best ones. And it flopped. And the video completely flopped. The prompt was tugboat. I thought I did amazing. Like, it truly, the background, the ocean, the colors, besides like this pink because that came from something else. I thought this was amazing. I thought this was fantastic. I loved it. I even had like details. I spent probably like an hour and a half on this one. And it did terrible. But it is what it is. And then I think the next one was Anchor. Actually, yeah, it was Anchor, and I created a Danforth Anchor, and it did well. The internet is weird. This was just a schematic that showed like the parts of it and everything. It's a schematic. Don't know what else to tell you. And then I made Dreamcatcher. Color gradients was pink down to purple. Yes, pink down to purple. And you know what? It wasn't bad. There's two people in the background, and there's like an owl here. Then I went on a break for almost a month posting, just because I made all these in one after another, and then I had something come up, and then I got behind, and then kept building up, and then I sat down for like a week straight, and I knocked out a whole bunch of shorts. I did a whole bunch of these, and actually now it's been a while since I've worked on them because I've been working on the videos, and then I started doing a couple main videos, and then there was a challenge that I did for 1000, but that's another story for another time. Anyways, at the time of this recording, a few days ago actually, I started posting again. The prompt for this one was King Cobra, and we're going up to 120. Yeah. King Cobra. The details for his face got lost. I did too much inking, and then I couldn't really do it unless I wanted to redo it. I should have made the background something else, and maybe probably did like an outline to give that, like, oh, here's the end of the snake. But I didn't. But it did well, so I mean, there we go. Old pickup or a rusty pickup truck? One of the two. I love this one. I probably could have did less details on the wheat and probably a little less blue for the sky, and the glass probably could have been a little bit frosted over. We're losing light, aren't we? Okay. Sorry, could do that a little bit better, but it is what it is. Day 111 was Potato Head Man. I did this originally outside when I was watching the pups, and the orientation to which I had filming this, I was looking through the camera, not here, and so I didn't realize how sideways it was because I filmed like this. That just suffered from it. Instead of being like this, it's like this, and then it kind of like shifted everything. Could have did better with the background, honestly. I probably should have did the whole body and then went in with like the whites, but I wanted to keep the whites from there, and I for some reason kept the pencil work. I should have erased that too. The orange, I could have did a few more layers. I think I just didn't want to spend too much time on it. Not too bad, but it is what it is. Cheshire cat. Yeah, big cat on canvas. On campus. I said canvas twice in the main video and this one. I wanted to create him in a suit. You know, he's a fluffy cat, and I was like, oh well, let's just make him like the main cat. So I created him in this like striped suit and everything like that. Kept the colors for him the same, and then of course, you know, we're all a little mad here. So I did some swirls and some lines in the background to accentuate that. The next one was polka dot bow tie. Yes, that was the prompt. So I did the polka dot bow tie, but you wouldn't get that as the main prompt because I pulled references and inspiration from Calvin Hobbes when he did his school photos. Big cheese and face and everything, the hair crazy. Could have done the orange, probably a little brighter. That's when I noticed that I was also low on orange, so I picked up like a small 50-cent bottle of Apple Barrel, like bright orange, and got that there. Then I wanted to contrast it with like the shirt having kind of like this design, like squares, checkers, and stuff like that. Not too bad. Party hat. I took so much pride in this one because he's just so grumpy. He's just so upset. The hat was nice. The little, party popper, like, whatever it is in his mouth. The color theory, complement colors and stuff. I think that one's actually doing terrible right now, because this is the one that just went up. Oh yeah, no, this one's doing absolutely terrible. I don't know why. Why did this one do so bad? Shoot, I don't know why that one did bad. Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, I love that one so much. The next one was Barracuda, and this is what I talk about overworking. I created the Barracuda, I think it was the 1962-64 Barracuda. 64, I think it was. And then I drew a Barracuda on the side. I accidentally made a brushstroke too strong, and then that's why, like, obviously it's just dark on the top and the pinstripe that runs there and the bottom. I overworked this one, and I recognize that, and I hate that I did that. I would go back, but I really couldn't do it unless I covered the whole page and then redid it. But this is also not a multimedia sketchbook. This is just a drawing prompt book, and I'm pretty sure I've overworked it already. Day 116. We only have 4 more, so thanks so much for watching. I'm going to try to get this under 30 minutes. Piranha. I did it really well. I wish I would have did more color variation on the tops because they just look really muddy. Then I drew the teeth last minute. I got the inspiration for the movie Piranha, and then Piranha, 3DD? Oh, Piranha DD. The next one was Coffin. Kind of looks more like a gemstone. And it's Dracula sleeping in a coffin. I was trying to do like a monochromatic thing. I probably should have used more of a white tone, but it is what it is. Scary Shadow. I liked it at the time. Looking at it now, I probably could do a little bit more stretched out perspective and add some buildings, but it's essentially one person has a flashlight, casted it behind them, and it created this scary shadow, kind of like an homage to Gengar, Haunter, and Ghastly. Day 119, sorry, Maze, and this actually connects it. You really can't see it because of the piece that I did after with my Honolulu Series B markers that I got, and I made a main video for it. This was a maze. In the middle, there's someone screaming no because they're trapped in the middle. But it's a maze. I mean, I just created whatever off the top of my head, and it's okay. For 120, and I'm pretty sure you can see it. Yes. Conch Shell, the magic conch from SpongeBob. Obviously, I did this with the markers. It was my first piece with it. I thought it did really well. I realized now I missed this one spot here for the outline. But, yeah, I did a whole review for it. I know that was like a speed run of 40 pieces. Yeah, that's days 81 to 120. In the description box below, there's going to be a playlist for every single one of them. If you want to see the compilations, there's a video of every single one of those too. And yeah, Favorite ones out of these 40. This one, obviously, I love that one so much. That would be number 1. Number 2 would be the Gravity Falls Compass. And number 3 would be Meteor. I just love it so much. I know that was super fast. I know that was a lot all at once, but I wanted to let y'all know that I appreciate y'all for watching these. This book probably is going to be done, it's April now. I have so much more, probably by like 4th of July. That's the plan, to have this done by the 4th of July. Who knows what it's going to be like once I finish. This thing's probably not going to ever close correctly, but this is where we're at with the tissue paper. So thanks so much for watching. Peace, love, and hot sauce. If you want to see the main channel video of me going over the Ohuhu markers, I'll put it in the description box below as well. And I can breathe now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I'll see you on the next one.